I remember from my OpenStack days that at one point the community was working a little bit with the ETSI, the European Telecommunications Standards Institute, and within that the NFV Network Function Virtualization group, and the ETSI NFV was trying to look into how to standardize the cloud interfaces when cloud broke into the telecommunications segment. In your experience, how does open source fit into this standardization world and that aspect of the telecom industry and vendors?
I think they're kind of perpendicular in one sense, because I'm a bit proud of actually having the first ever reference to open source in the standards body. That was in ETSI. In ETSI, that they pointed at an interface in ONA as a standard. But that's the only case I can think of. There is a very big divide between that, and I also think that it's comes from totally different cultures. There is a possibility. Some people like to make sort of the connection between the two and make the best of it, but many don't want to mix them at all. And also there is also this idea, the question of patents and licensing and so on, that makes it sort of difficult to mix open source into standards, because if you're lucky, you get your patents into the standard, and then you can charge other people for that, and that's a big income. Nobody really wants to jeopardize any of that revenue. But also like I said before, the real diehard standards people, they don't want to talk implementation ever. They don't care if you do it in software or what you do. It's, you have an interface that's totally technology agnostic, not in practice, of course, but in the specification.
Well, for me, it seems to be the collision course is too exaggerated of a statement, but the orchestration of functionality, the interaction of that functionality, when it's based on things like Kubernetes and the way those get orchestrated, the way they interface with each other through the networking that exists within the Kubernetes ecosystem and within containers, and then going out to secondary networking, there's very much a merge, right, of what used to be traditionally telco, autonomous type functionality, originally in hardware, then in software, but now very much integrated into this platform that is the software platform that everybody's using. I mean, what has your experience been in watching that coalescence of the existing functionality of a major platform like Kubernetes with the requirements and then the desire to be so standards based in the telco industry? What has your experience been in seeing that?
Yeah, I've been lucky to be a bit outside of that battle, but because I worked a lot with O&M, operation, administration, and maintenance, I think, or sometimes management, and that's sort of not that sensitive when it comes to, it's not that well standardized, and it's possible to do what you want there. So that's also, you don't have to have a super high availability in that area either, because it's not at the end of the world if you can't sort of access a certain node or a certain equipment at any time. The service will not go down. It's just that you will not be able to read some numbers and so on. But I think that the telecom industry has been is not in charge of this development. It has to adjust all the time, and also because the specific technology in telecom is not there anymore. It's sort of basic IT technology that is used to build a network.
Like you had said, implementation was always owned by the vendors, and so you work out standards, you implement however you want. But now there's so much that's, again, sitting underneath that is, as you say, not under their control any longer.
And also the latest, I would say latest development, but some development is towards this service-based architecture, which means that the standards don't really work that with detailed interfaces and detailed protocols. There's still that around, but a lot of what 3GPP is doing inside Etsy is a service-based architecture, which means that you specify how the service should look like and how it should work, and then you gain some flexibility in that. On the other hand, you lose clarity, and you cannot guarantee that the equipment that fulfills the standard will work together, which is a kind of a contradiction in terms. But then you have to have a big implementation project when you get equipment from different vendors, and it sort of goes away a bit from the basis of standardization. But that's something that has been driven by operators. Vendors don't really like that, but probably also because they want to make use of new technology and new possibilities, and not being bound to the in-house technology from the vendors.